when you always come down to Paul Nicholls' yard, you can't ignore the fact that there's been some amazing horses in this yard in Ditchit. And you just look at this fabulous Royal of Honour, Cordo Star, 16 Grade 1 winners. What a superstar he was. And here they're all listed for anyone who comes down to the yard. Well, for Paul Nicholls this year, Cheltenham seems to me that he is admitting it himself, he's very much going through a change in terms of the horses that he's got there. But I do think he's got a couple that could be very interesting in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I'm talking about Jubilee Alpha and Just a Rose. Now, when we saw them today, he wasn't really keen to separate them. Although Jubilee Alpha's got the form in the book, he definitely thinks Just a Rose is a horse who can come on. And so that's why he perhaps thinks these are the two horses that could give him another festival winner. It's not going to be easy, but certainly a bullish sounding Paul Nicholls about his two for the Mayor's Hurdle race.
You wouldn't split them at home, and I don't think there's much between them. Jubilee Alpha's had some really good form in bumpers and particularly novice hurdles this year. She was unlucky not to win the first day at Newbury, her debut over hurdles, and then she made up for that winning a listed race at Taunton and Windsor. Form looks good, she's done well. Just a Rose has only had the one run. She won a point to point, and then she won her only novice hurdle at Taunton. Now, it was a fairly ordinary race, but she couldn't have won any further. She won like best part of 25 lengths, and Freddie couldn't pull her up. So that was visually a very smart performance, but without any more runs to back that up, it's a job to know exactly where she is. So we'll know at Cheltenham. She's going to run in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle as well on the Thursday. Cobby rider. Now, she's got some great form in the book. She won her first bumper last year, then she was second at Aintree, gave her plenty of time. Was a bit unlucky on her debut at Newbury in the listed Mayor's Novice Hurdle, whatever it was, on Coral Gold Cup Day. Just made a couple of green mistakes and only just failed to win. She went to Taunton for the listed mares race over Christmas and won that very well. Form of that looks good, and then she won the listed fillies race at Windsor at that 2-day meeting, and that form's turned out quite good. But she's a real good filly and can't have done any more than keep winning like she has. So this is an interesting filly called Just a Rose, who's going to run in the Mayor's Novices Hurdle on the Thursday. We bought her last year, but she wasn't cheap at Cheltenham Sale, having won her only point to point. Horse she beat that day has done very well for Dan. Is quite a smart horse. We gave her plenty of time. She just took a while to come to. I went to Taunton, I don't know, 6 weeks ago in a novice hurdle and absolutely bolted in. Couldn't have won. She won 25 lengths. Freddie couldn't pull her up, and she galloped all the way through the line. I haven't been able to run her since. I was hoping to go on to Sandown last week, but I didn't want to run her in really desperate ground. I wouldn't have wanted to run her 2 weeks. A, she was not good in her coat, and B, the ground was too heavy. It's all very well winning one race and looking fantastic. They would like to have seen a little bit more, but we can't. But Freddie, a rider, look, we like her an awful lot, and she'll run in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I don't think he's got enough boot to travel where he like. He jumps very well, just be good and handy, and then just see what happens. As I said, I think we ran him quick enough. The race when he was third that day wasn't too bad. He just probably ran him a bit quick, and the ground was a bit. But it's all about experience with some of these horses, and as I said, whatever he costs. You don't look at that now. We just got to try and get the best out of him. And I think over the next, we've got plenty to work on. And you know, he's a horse a lot of people like to have in the yard. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. The time he was sold, he just won that Grade 1 at Leopardstown over hurdles. That form has not worked out at all. It's like any horse, it can a year down the line, it can work out not as good as you think. And I can see why John wanted to buy him, and we'll have a lot of fun with him. We got him right now. He's dropped down the handicap a bit. He'd gone quite high. He's down to 149 now. So we're going to run him in the Trusted Trader Plate on the Thursday, and just hope he comes back to form. He tends to like Cheltenham. He likes the new course. I thought by now we'd been on last year's form. We'd been vying for the Ryanair, which he's still in the Ryanair, but now he's dropped down a bit. We won't run him in that. Basically, up to now, it's been a slightly disappointing season for him, but I think we're basically paying for having some hard races last season. Great Dawning's not exactly excelled this season. He had two real battles with him, got beat by him once, and we beat him once at Aintree. But I'd say he's just coming back to himself. As I said, it takes a lot getting fit. I'm very happy where he is now, and he'll head to Cheltenham, as I said, for the handicap on the Thursday. Paddy Power Gold Cup winner, Il Redito. He's going to run in the plate at the handicap, trusted trader, whatever it is called now, on the Thursday. With Ginny's days. Key to this horse is he needs good ground. When he won the Paddy Power Gold Cup, it was decent ground and he had a lightweight. Of course, Jubilee handicapper, he won and went up 8 with Freddie's claim was 11, and it's just you mark where you're going to win with him, and you're over and above that you don't win. And he's run okay since. The ground the last day he ran was too soft. He did drop down £2 there. He's getting closer to back to the mark he was on. Loves Cheltenham, just wants good ground. On good ground, good. It could even be good to firm. He won't be, but that's the sort of ground he likes. He gets too soft, it's not perfect for him. But anyway, good fun horse he is, really. He's done very well for what he cost and what he's done. And, you say you win a Paddy Power Gold Cup, he won a good race last year, so he's a good fun horse. He's been running really well this season, but he's in no man's land a little bit. He's 149 now at handicap mark. So he's going to end up, I don't know, well, I suspect he'll have 12 stone when the weights come out tomorrow. He'll probably have 12 stone in the Betemps. Or we run him in the stairs hurdle. And he's been running really well in those races. Ran well at Newbury, ran well at Cheltenham. But I suppose the best you could probably hope for if all the best ones turn up is getting placed in the stairs hurdle. So we've got to evaluate between now and the festival, study the weights to see whether we run him in the Betemps final or we go for the stairs hurdle again.
He was very much a surprise winner for the team last year, weren't he?
Yeah, I wasn't that surprised because he'd been jumping fences and he hated it, and that's why I sent him for the qualifier at Cheltenham, at Chepstow. I thought if we get qualified in that, we'd have a chance of going to Cheltenham, and I thought we'd be placed, but didn't think I'm not standing and say I thought he'd win, but we thought he'd run well, and of course he won nicely, so back over hurdle suited him. Whether how he runs in the bumper at Cheltenham won't determine his future, because he's going to be a smart horse when he goes novice hurdling next year. He won his only point-to-point for Will Biddick at Badbury Rings last year, won half the track, and you wouldn't know what that form was at all, but we bought him because we got off wheel because we liked him. Doesn't show a lot at home, and so we took him to Wincanton and had a gallop about 3 weeks before the Warwick race, and we're very pleasantly surprised at how well he went on the track up there on soft ground. Went to Warwick in a race that looked quite competitive. Dan's horse was second, I think, was very much fancied. And he won very, very nicely. Travelled really well in the race and quickened up without Harry and have to really ask too much of him. So he won that race very nicely. With bumpers, who knows what the form is owned, but he is a very nice horse for the future, and he'll run well. I part own now with Max McNeil. 2 years ago, he won his only 2 chases at Ludlow and at Aintree I think it was in the summer really, or whatever time. I got a leg, unfortunately, so he had 2 years off. So I did a bit of a deal with Max and kept half of it with him and said, we'll get him back in 2 years' time and try and qualify him for the Fox Hunters for Olive to ride. And so far it's worked out brilliantly. Won very well at the first time at Foss Lass on ground. He absolutely hated, but he still bolted in. And then ran him very quick last week at Taunton because I had to. It was the only chance I had to qualify for Cheltenham. He had to be first or second at Taunton to be qualified. Oliver's looking forward to riding him, and he's unbeaten in 4 runs over fences. He was at his best rated 139. He's not a 139 horse now, but he's probably a good 130s horse, and those are the sort of horses like Passion Polder and horses in the past that run really well. So I think he'd give Olive a really, really good ride.